Frida. Have a seat. How has your week been?
It's been okay.
It's been good? Well, last week I know you were experiencing some anxiety. Did anything we did in our last session help with those feelings at all?
Well, I haven't really spent much time around my family, so I didn't really feel a lot of anxiety this week, really.
That's good. Okay. In regards to the homework, the activity log, did you bring that with you?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's take a look at that and see. Good. Okay, I see here when you went to visit your mom at her house, your level of achievement went down significantly. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Do you think that that has any correlation with the anxiety you had been feeling?
Yeah, I found it really interesting to see what I was doing, especially during my times of anxiety. Like, it seems like my anxiety tended to show up a lot when I was around my mom, because I really feel like I failed her.
You failed her?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to break away too much from that thought. That's a really big concern. So let's start making our agenda. And just like last week, that's kind of just like a flexible schedule, so we can make sure your significant issues are addressed today, okay?
Okay.
So for today, are there 2 concerns that you would like to make sure we discuss?
Yeah, I just felt a lot of pressure from my mom. Like, she's still making me feel like I failed her in a lot of ways.
Okay. We'll definitely put that on our agenda for today. Is there anything else?
I'm really just kind of concerned, like, if I change for my mom, like it's gonna make my mom happy, but ultimately, like, I feel like I'm gonna feel like more miserable.
Okay. All right. So just to recap for today's session, in regards to our agenda, I think that maybe we should talk for about 15 minutes about your first concern about pressure from your mom, in regards to how you feel. And I think that we should really tie in that activity log you did for homework and see if that correlates at all with those feelings. And then 15 minutes for your second issue in regards to like changing for your mom and how that wouldn't make you happy necessarily. And then maybe 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the session to maybe any other concerns, homework, and kind of a recap. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so we're going to bring back up your homework. And now when you're around your family, your achievement level did go down. Okay, so I would like to try something called continuum work. And that's really just kind of placing evidence with your feelings and your negative thoughts and assumptions, and trying to bring those out into the open to see if they're true or not. Okay? So it might be kind of strange, but this is kind of how it goes. Now, last week you discussed, we discussed your core belief is the feeling of failure. So to start off with, on a scale from 0 to 100, I would like you to rate yourself on how true it is that you are a failure, the belief that you're a failure.
Ooh. I'd probably say like 85%.
85%? Okay. Can you name some characteristics that are associated with failure?
Probably write a big list, but probably just, being alone.
Being alone?
Miserable. Not having enough money. Not happy. Not confident. Letting people down.
It's quite an extensive list. Okay, so what would you say the opposite of failure is?
The opposite of failure. Success.
Success?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And on a scale from 0 to 100, how would you rate yourself that you are a success?
my definition or like other people's definition of me being successful?
Well, say your definition.
I would probably have to say like 15%.
15%?
Yeah. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can you name some characteristics of what it would mean to be a success to you?
That you'd have a career you love. You'd have a family.
Okay.
You'd be happy. Not worried about a lot of things, but especially like opinions of other people. And that you'd have enough money to do everything, pay your bills and everything, but also do a lot of fun stuff too.
Okay. Understandable. Okay, now I would just kind of like to go back and rate these individually. In regards to your career, currently, how would you rate your level of success in regards to your career?
I'm a gym teacher.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and we're kind of at a smaller school, but I have kindergarten through 12. And so honestly,
wow.
I love it.
Oh wow, that's great.
I love going to work.
Keep you busy.
It has its ups and downs sometimes, but overall, I'd have to say I love it a lot. I'd probably give myself like an 80%.
80? Great.
Well, yeah.
Okay. And in regards to love and your family, how would you rate your level of success in that area?
Well, like my family as a whole, or like individually people in my family, or like friends?
I would say probably your love with anybody that you associate with being your family or similar.
I think because I'm at a small school, I feel this big sense of love. Like we're kind of like a big family. So I kind of like ultimately feel like those kids are my family.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, my other members of my family, like I'd have to say, I guess I'm a pretty loved person. I love to love on them too, and so probably like a 70%.
Okay. And in regards to your happiness, how would you rate your level of success in that area?
And combining like family and like just life in general, or
whatever your definition of happiness would be.
I'd say overall, I'm probably about 80%.
80? Okay. And then the next one, not really being worried about people's opinions, etc. How would you rate that?
I got broad shoulders. So I'd probably have to say probably like a 70%. Like
70%.
Yeah, I don't care what a lot of people think.
That's good. All right, and then you mentioned having enough money to kind of take care of yourself and meet your needs.
Well, I mean, it's just me. So, we are a private institution where I work, and so tuition, they have to pay tuition. So, I get paid a pretty good amount, so I'd probably have to say about 90% for right now. I mean, that would probably change if I had kids or if I actually had a husband or something, but I mean, that's not the cards right now. But.
Okay, so just kind of looking at these scores, I mean, how do you feel seeing those numbers? We have career 80%, loved by family or friends 70%, happiness 80%, not worried about what other people think 70%, enough money 90%.
Wow, I didn't expect it to be that high. Those numbers are kind of high.
How does that make you feel?
I guess I realized I'm a little bit more of a success than I realized.
Yeah. So if you were given the opportunity to kind of rescore yourself in the area of being a failure, what would you score yourself now?
Based on those numbers, I mean, I guess I'd have to drop it to a 30%.
30. Wow. Going from 85% to 30 in the belief that you're a failure, that's a significant drop. Now I noticed when we were scoring these individually that your being loved by your family was the lowest at the 70%. Does that have any correlation with your mom at all?
Yeah, I don't want this belief of failure ruin my relationship with my mom. I don't want guess, yeah, my relationship with my mom kind of is what holds me back a little bit, and that's why when I asked you to specify, because like the rest of my family's really loving and stuff, but I just feel like I can never please her.
Never please her. Yeah. Okay. After doing this activity and kind of just what you described to me, would you like to discuss that as a concern versus what we discussed earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into that. Your relationship with your mom and how you don't want this core belief of failure to really alter that relationship or ruin that relationship with your mom. Okay, so let's try this. We're going to try a cost-benefit analysis, and that's basically just listing the advantages and disadvantages of possibly giving up that core belief of failure. Okay? So I'm going to start by listing advantages on one side and disadvantages on another. Okay. So let's start with advantages. So if you were to give up this core belief that you were a failure, what would one of the advantages of that be?
I guess it would be to clear out like any negative thoughts.
Negative thoughts, okay. What about a negative or a disadvantage of giving up that core belief that you're a failure?
Dealing with my mom's crap forever.
Okay. Alright, going back to the other side, advantages.
I think
another one.
I'd be happier with my life.
Happier with your life? Mm-hmm. Okay. In regard to anything specific or just overall?
Just overall.
Overall?
Yeah.
Okay. And then another disadvantage?
I'm going to have to continue to confront these issues. They could still be there.
Okay. And then maybe one more advantage of giving up this core belief.
I think I'd have a better relationship with my mom.
A relationship with your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you were able to give up this core belief of being a failure, you said that you'd be able to have a better relationship with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
What else might you be able to do?
I think if I gave up with the idea and I had a better relationship with my mom, like, I think ultimately, like, my level of anxiety would probably go down too. Like, I think it would allow me to just have a better relationships all the way around with my family. And so ultimately, I think, like, I just really have an issue with my mom and just kind of explaining things to her. She doesn't see what I'm trying to say, but I just feel like I'm always upsetting her, like, not pleasing her. I'm just a failure. So I think if I got rid of that idea that I thought that way, that maybe, like, my anxiety would probably definitely decrease.
Right. So if you were to give up that core belief of you being a failure, you'd be able to have a better relationship with your mom, ultimately.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, it seems like you're very driven, and these advantages are great in regards to giving up that core belief. How do you feel overall about what we've talked about today?
Surprisingly, I did not expect to get this much out of it this time. That little rating thing you had me do, like, I thought it was kind of silly, but at the same time it made me see that my definition of success, but also, like, the reality that I actually am, actually kind of helped. Like, I really enjoyed that, actually. So.
Good. Great. Okay, so just continuing on trying to release this core belief that you are a failure, I would like you to try the activity log again for homework, but this time I really want you to try to know how your anxiety increases, decreases, or stays the same after our session today for this upcoming week, and maybe just jot down to the side how you feel like that specifically relates to you and your relationship with your mom. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Pretty easy? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, do you have any further questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Well, Frida, we'll see you next time. Okay, have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you.